is Zimmy and I'm currently in the 8th grade at the Sharon Middle School. Before I start, can everybody hear me?
Yes.
Great. I would like to thank Pooja for her wonderful speech on social media and for her great intro. Today I will be talking about something that is very important to myself and should be to all of you in this room. I will be talking about the pursuit of happiness. When I say the pursuit of happiness, you may think of the movie that was made a few years ago called The Pursuit of Happiness. But no, that's not what I'm talking about. I will be talking about, one, what happiness means to me, and maybe what happiness means to you. If money can buy happiness, and if so, where to shop for it. I will also talk about a short story that I learned that I think really applies to the different types of happiness. And 4, how to make yourself happy if all else fails. So, what does happiness mean? I would like all of you to think about what happiness means to you, and maybe if you want, you can share it. Yes, Timothy.
My happiness is a simple math equation, 1 plus 1.
1 plus, for the man in the black suit, 1 plus 1 equals happy. It's a simple
I'm the
equation.
sales guy for the wrong person for one.
Maybe.
To me, happiness means doing what you love with the people who you love. Happiness means being content with yourself and being able to look at what somebody else has and thinking, I like myself the way I am and I don't need a lot of other things. It's okay to once in a while look at something and say, wow, that looks really cool, because the grass is always greener on the other side, and that's human nature. But to be really happy, you should be grateful for what you have and just love yourself, because self-acceptance is very important and is key to happiness. So, can money buy happiness? A few years ago, a researcher at an institute in California did some research. He interviewed a couple of people over the span of a few years. All of them showed signs of being happy and sad and being normal. But one person was an outlier. He had actually won the lottery, but despite all beliefs that you should be really happy when you come across a large amount of money, he was very sad. And why? Because he had spent so much money on himself that he had gone into debt and had a hard time repaying. So that just goes to show that that money isn't always the greatest thing, and that you don't always need a bunch of material things. In fact, studies show that people who spend money on other people besides themselves or donate to charities are happier than the people who have large yachts and boats and fancy cars and all of that. So, if you ever come across a large amount of money, just remember that it may not make you the happiest, and that new shirt or dress that you wanted to buy at the store the happiness will wear off soon and will not make you as happy as donating an old dress or old shirt to a charity. So that leads me into this little story about Socrates, a Greek philosopher, and his wealthy friend. Socrates and his friend went to the market one day, and his friend said, anything in this market, anything you can think of, I can buy it for you because my happiness is spending money on other people so that they can be happy. And you know what Socrates said? Socrates actually said, well, you don't need to buy anything for me because my happiness is not needing any of this in the market. And because all those material things don't really matter to me. And so that just shows that some people like to spend money on other people to make themselves happy, and that's great. But some people just don't even need that. You don't even need that pair of new shoes that you saw. Maybe it'll make you look great, but in the end, you'll end up attracting the wrong people, those people that only like you because of your money. And that can lead to being very stressed and upset about not having anyone who actually cares about you. So, A couple weeks ago, there is some research done to look for the happiest place on Earth. And you may think that since America is a very wealthy country and has a great economy compared to some other countries, you may think that they would be on top of the list because you think that everybody in America is happy. But no, America is actually down in the 20s. But do you know what the happiest country ended up being? It was a developing country in Africa. And that may be because, yes,
Was it
Viva.
Sierra Leone?
What?
No.
The man, the gentleman in the white shirt asked, was it Sierra Leone? I will get back to you on that because I don't remember the specific name of the country. I think that they were the happiest country because, well, when you have nothing to lose, you only have things to gain. And so when you gain things, that obviously would make you happy. But us Americans, we have so many giant houses and whatnot, and people are just losing money every day, and that's definitely not always a good thing. So how do you make yourself happy if all else fails? Well, I think a great way to make yourself happy is to develop a hobby. Like Tim has electronics, and I think that his OnePlus makes him very happy from what I've seen. So hobbies are great because they should always make you feel like you're not bored and you can do them anywhere. Like I love art. I can draw anywhere, and I also love music. I love listening to music. Also, spending time with people that you really like is great too. Studies show that married couples are generally much happier than people who are unmarried. And do you know why? Because when you're married, you always have somebody to have your back, and you always have somebody that will support you no matter what. So, another way to make yourself happy is to, like I said before, spend money on other people. Buying material things for yourself, the happiness wears off very fast and will not create the long-lasting type of happiness deep down inside for when you maybe give $20 to a homeless man so he can buy his dinner. Because that makes you feel good for the rest of the day. And well, when you spend money on that new pair of pants for yourself, it may make you feel good, but in the end, you may feel a tiny bit selfish too. To conclude, today I talked about what it means to myself to be happy, how if money can buy you happiness and if you can shop for it, a short story that I learned on the different types of happiness, and how to make yourself happy if all else fails. Thank you, everyone. You are a great audience.